The true glass ceiling or constraint is going to be your time. There's only 24 hours in a day, and it doesn't matter how hard you work or how smart you are, because you still can't beat that one constraint, which is your time. Believe it or not, there are some people that make as much as you might make in a week or an entire month in one single day. Why is it that some salespeople are absolutely thriving and crushing it, making $10, $20, $30,000 a month, while others are just barely getting by? I begin to believe that during my sales experience that there's really a certain cutoff you hit as an individual, and that's around 300,000 a year. Why is it that a lot of people get stuck at that milestone? Well, it comes down to one thing and one thing only, and that is your vehicle. It's not about how hard you work during the hours in a day, but it's about what you're doing during the work in the hours in a day. And the vehicle that got you to where you are now often isn't the vehicle that gets you to other places. As you probably heard from a lot of investors, what might make you 10,000 won't make you 100, and what will make you 100 won't make you a million, what will make you a million won't get you 10. And during my experience, during my sales career, I had the pleasure of working with some really large businesses and some really small ones, one of the largest of which was owned by an entrepreneur who's worth over $400 million. He's nothing more than a human being. He's just like you or I. But there's some things that he did so differently during the day, or just his overall approach to making money, that allowed him to make the kinds of money that he was making, that allowed him to go from 0 to 216,000 or even a couple $1 million in a month without needing to sacrifice and slave away his time. And in this video, I want to explain how you can break past that glass ceiling, which is the 24 hours in a day, and explain the better vehicle that you can use to generate an income, especially if you're a high-performing salesperson. And this video is specifically for people who are remote closers in the coaching, consulting, alternative education, or online service-based industries. People that have grown up online or have made all of their money working online, remote, commission-only sales, working for a number of different offers. Some might be great businesses, small businesses, few and far between, but you and I both know the difference between a good offer and a bad offer is the difference between you paying your bills or not being able to. But so let's talk about vehicle. The first vehicle that a lot of salespeople use to be able to get good or begin to generate an income is that of actually doing sales. That is where they take one-to-one sales calls, talking with prospects or individuals, and converting them for money for different products or services. But the thing is that will only get you so far. And the reason being, as I said before, is you only have 24 hours in a day. And even if you get really good at sales, and I'm going to tell you this as someone who has spent over 10,000 hours studying and selling, I've completely mastered the craft. I've launched my own curriculum. If you guys are curious to learn a little bit about the tip of that, I've got Persuasion Academy. It's a completely free resource. That's its own topic. But I say this to say that I've looked at all the different styles of selling. I've looked at NEPQ, straight line selling, Cardone Smash, and some of the other well-marketed versions out there, or different variants of these that explain how to sell in detail. And it's interesting because when you look at each one of these fields of study, each one of these fields of sales, the best people in them still can't really get their conversion rate above 25, maybe 30%. And this is having spoken to hundreds of salespeople in different industries and different sectors. It doesn't matter really what you sell. You really can't break that conversion rate of 30%, even if you are the best salesperson in the world. And even if you are the best salesperson in the world, you only have so much time in a day. And mathematically speaking, you cannot have a business that doesn't have a show rate that's less than perfect. You cannot sell a product that doesn't have anything short of 100% or really more than a 30% close rate. That's just because of the nature of how the science of closing and sales works, and just conversions at large. It's like when you go to the casino. It doesn't matter how good you get at poker, you can still only win a certain percentage of the time. The odds are still sometimes stacked in or not in your favor, even when you are in the best in the world. And let's talk about vehicles. So what do a lot of people do to try to make more money, or salespeople do? Well, they want to go sell something different. They want to sell something more expensive. Maybe you've considered enterprise sales or longer sales cycle product. Well, the thing is what you're trading is maybe you make more money, but what you have to do is spend more time making that money. You have to spend more time working a deal. It takes more skill, effort, and energy to be able to get one sale. And I used to do enterprise sales. I used to actually work in the world of high finance. I was a part of a lot of business transactions, connecting buyers and sellers. I spent around 2 years in the space. And I spent a lot of time there because when I did the high ticket closing of short sales cycle stuff, I was like, oh my God, this isn't making me enough money, but I'm also good at selling. Why don't I do big deals? What's the biggest deal I can do? Why don't I sell a business? Why don't I help people sell businesses? Entered that, sure enough to find that even when I was great, there was still only around a 30% conversion rate. But even when I was great, I still had to trade lots of time, lots of my time to be able to get deals done and to be able to make money. That's if a deal even got done. But that's where, what if there was a better way? And that's what I've been doing over the last year or so, which is what I like to call fractional sales consulting. See, the concept of fractional sales consulting is you want to take your sales experience, your specific expertise of knowing how to sell and close deals, and offer that to a business and get paid a retainer plus some of the upside to be able to provide that. Some examples of what that looks like is there was a company that I worked with that was an industrial equipment cutting company. They sold some of the largest equipment in the world for cutting trees trees, logs over 70 inches or even 96 inches in width, the largest trees in the world we could cut with this machine. But the challenge was this business had no idea how to sell their product. They had a very hard time hiring sales professionals, managing sales professionals, even developing a sales process for which their new hires could even work on. And so there was a lot of churn and burn. They had a very hard time growing their business because they had no idea how to sell. Now, me being me, I know how to sell. Give me a product, I can sell it. Ice to Eskimos, planes to pilots, few and far between. But what I was able to do is come to this business and say, hey, I know how to sell, but more importantly, I know how to build a sales process. Why do I know how to build a sales process? Well, if you're watching this and you're in the space, you might not realize that the setter, closer, lead generation system that you've been using to close deals, that is a sales process. And a lot of businesses have no idea what that is or how that even works. They don't know what a setter is. They don't know what a closer should do. They have no idea. Some businesses don't even have a CRM. So what I did is I stepped into this company and I said, hey, I can create this, this, and this for you, develop a sales process to get you some sales hires. We shook hands, did a deal, I got paid a retainer, and over the course of 3 months, helped them fully develop a sales process with setters and closers. It was humming and ticking. We connected their marketing to it, and we were able to sell one of these machines a month. We did over $100,000 in new sales of this equipment. Now, mind you, prior, this company was selling one randomly, sporadically, someone would kind of contact out of the blue. But that's the power of knowing how to use a process. But the best part of this is I didn't need to take a single sales call at all in this process. All I did was help them set up the process and find salespeople and train salespeople to the same standard of selling that I knew how to do and that I've used so successfully in my career, and they were able to do the work for me, keeping me leveraged. And what that is a better vehicle. The vehicle of not selling products one-to-one, but going to businesses and developing systems for which other people can go and sell the products is a better vehicle for making money because you're no longer trading your time for dollars. Someone else was spending the time taking the calls, following up and closing deals, while all I had to do is make sure that they were well directed and well guided in what they could do, freeing me up to then go take on another client. While I was doing this industrial equipment, I had 2 or 3 other clients I was working with at the same time. I highly recommend not entering longer sales cycle, more expensive products, but rather taking your experience and offering that as a service to businesses, installing a commission-only sales team and managing that from afar. Because this will allow you to make money off of other people's efforts, off of other people's time, without you needing to sacrifice your days and your headspace chasing deals day in and day out. And companies are gladly willing to pay, because if a business sells 2 or 3 of their products, more often than not, that will cover whatever fee you might charge them in a month. If they sell 4 or 5 of them, then they have profits on top of that. But more importantly, you need to get one salesperson to sell 5 products in a month for a business to be profitable. And you might ask, well, how do I know a salesperson can sell 5? Well, I like to make my judgments like this. If I couldn't sell 5 of these in a month, I wouldn't commission somebody else to. Because let's say I was in the inferior position. Let's say I was that salesperson taking that job that someone else had created for me. I'm not going to take that unless I know that I can make money here. And that's where your job is to come into a business, create an opportunity, set it up in a way in which a salesperson can make money, find somebody who's looking for that or is in that stage of their career, bring them in and let them do the work, and you get paid off of their efforts without needing to trade your time for money on calls. And so if you're curious to learn more about how this whole model works, or more importantly, how you could use it to make an income for yourself, I want you to click the link down below and check out Fractional Sales Consulting. It'll take you to a page where I'll break down and explain really what this opportunity looks like in full. And then from there, you may or may not be asked to set up a call with our team, really if you feel like it's a fit, to see if we can help you audit your current experience and position yourself to be able to go out and find a client like this, but more importantly, allow you or show you how you can make money without needing to take more sales calls day in and day out. But yeah, that's the power of an opportunity vehicle. And the vehicle which you're using, which is one-to-one sales, is good to get to maybe $30,000 a month, but to break past that, you need to change your vehicle and your approach and your strategy to making money. And this is where Fractional Sales Consulting, so if it makes sense, is a vehicle in which I've been able to use without needing to take sales calls, working completely remotely from my apartment here that I'm in now. And I make this video to spread the word because it seems like I'm the only person talking about this. Don't go close more deals, go higher up the food chain, develop systems and processes, stop taking calls, show others the way in which they can make money. There's people who are earlier on in their career, much like you might have been, that are hungry for a good offer and opportunity, that kind of want to sell something real besides just coaching and information. And that's where someone like yourself can take this model into other industries. And so if you're curious to learn more, go ahead, click the link down below, and I'll see you on the inside.